Why does it always go really, really, really hot at the worst times? Like, Monday and Tuesday were just disgustingly hot. It's now getting even hotter as we're going through the rest of this week, and I have to work, and I'm not appreciating that. So, really, really don't like summer. Personally, it's as a person who has very fair skin and is also genetically ginger-haired, I burn so easily. I can spend seconds in the sun and start to burn. And no, I do not tan. Even if I put sun cream on, I still do not tan. The sun cream just saves me from burning. So it sucks. And the heat's horrible. I hate the heat so much, especially in England where we don't have the proper measures to cope with it. Yeah, why people like summer, I don't know. But anyway, hello and welcome back to The Lion's Den. I'm your host Matt, as always. And kind of following on from that point, I had my graduation on Monday, which was really, really nice. And a nice bit of closure, I suppose, from my university journey. And whilst the weather was warm and lovely and sunny and probably made for some excellent photos, I was absolutely melting. I had a full suit on, as well as the whole graduation gown, and it was stifling, honestly. I don't know how I survived, but I pushed through because I wanted those photos, baby. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about today. Today I have a fun, random topic that I want to discuss, ready for nothing in particular. I want to talk about room designing and kind of just interior design in general. And there's a bit of a weird story with this. So I kind of just picked up this interest and this habit sort of as I got older. I liked kind of shifting the furniture around in my room into more and more efficient organizations, depending on what I needed at that point in time. So like currently the room layout I have is designed for both work and play. So I have my TV set up with my Switch and everything opposite my bed so that I can lay in bed and play games. But I have my desk set up so that it's not obstructed by like the window and getting glare on the screen and everything. So that's all good. But in the past I've just organized my room for space efficiency or to prioritize the safety of certain objects, like my guitars, for example. I try and keep my guitars as far away from the radiator as possible because that wouldn't be good. But I just kind of enjoy the challenge of moving furniture in a room into a configuration that's better than the last. And I kind of progressed from making changes that were incrementally better to some huge changes to now, again, incremental changes to almost now compromise, because I've kind of peaked with the efficient use of the space. But it's now, what do I want to sacrifice? Do I want to sacrifice my work setup, or do I want to sacrifice my play setup? Do I want to sacrifice where the bed is in the room or where the guitars are in the room? Things like that. And I guess this kind of stemmed into what I did at university, which was I had a very, very small room, and I'm really sorry, my laptop's just gone haywire with the fan, but I had a very small room at university, and it meant that fitting everything in it was a challenge, certainly a hard challenge, but I managed to do quite well, and I got it to the point where I literally had like a good little chunk of area that you could probably stand and stretch and kind of maybe do some light yoga poses in a tiny shoebox room. I was very impressed with myself. But I enjoyed that challenge because it meant making my living space nicer and nicer, and getting it more functional than it would have been had it been left in the state that it was originally, because it was not in a very good orientation initially. But I think this is why I enjoy Animal Crossing quite a bit, because there's that satisfaction of designing rooms and putting furniture in places. And obviously in Animal Crossing it's so easy to move things around, it's a video game, you can magically pick things up and move them everywhere. And especially with New Horizon, having the whole outside area is really cool. I'm nowhere near as good as the things I've seen people do online, where they create vistas and like farms and cafes outside. They've made friggin' castles and fake watery moats. It's insane. Genuinely impressive, the things that some people can do. But for me, it's just kind of that joy of doing what you can and enjoying the process. Especially one thing I really like to do is when you can find an entire complete set of furniture items that are all the same, and then when you put them all in a room, it just looks gorgeous. Like I remember I did the winter set that's all made of ice. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous set. And it was like the best room in my house, and the whole game system said, yeah, this is the best room in your house, because one, it's a matching furniture set, but two, the way I positioned everything, it just looked so lovely. And I mean, one of the items is a bed made out of ice, but it looks gorgeous, it looks so comfortable, and yeah, really like it. I haven't played the DLC yet, which is basically just that, but on steroids. Mainly because when the DLC came out, that's when my kind of joy for the game dropped off significantly. So I put the game down and I haven't picked it up since. But I'm very excited because I've decided I have 2 weeks booked off at the end of September. So I'm going to just throw some money at Nintendo and play all of the stuff that I've been seeing and really excited about, but not been able to get into. One of them being the DLC for Animal Crossing. But the second one being, I'm going to finally bite the bullet and buy Mario Kart 8 again, but on Switch, and play the DLC tracks, because honestly, I'm half and half, but I think the more I see of it, the more I go, wow, that's actually really good, and I kind of want it. So yeah, we're going to do that. The next thing as well, along this line of just obsessed with house designing, or just room designing and interior design, is The Sims 4. I was so close to buying and spending literal hundreds of pounds on all of the Sims 4 stuff, because I stumbled across a channel on YouTube that I cannot for the life of remember now, that just did these building challenges in The Sims 4, and it would be like building a house that's a 4x4 square, or building a house that's vertical, building a house that's got XYZ requirements, or some of them were just, I want to build a hotel, so they designed a hotel style room, and it's just so satisfying. And especially watching somebody who knows what they're doing, even more satisfying, because they just do these really cool intricate tricks to get the kind of desired effect they want. And because of the amount of DLC that The Sims 4 has, there's so many options. It's like Animal Crossing's, but if Animal Crossing had 5 times the amount of items in it, and Animal Crossing already has so many items in it, but it was just fascinating. I didn't even care about the main Sims part of the game, where you have a sim that you can produce into whatever being you want. I just cared about the house designing. It was honestly fascinating, and I think that kind of fits in with my whole idea of, I really like designing the layouts of rooms and thinking about the positioning of stuff, thinking about how to accessorize your furniture, but then also the design of the outside was really interesting, making a house that's one room, for example. So to make it really interesting, you might put a pool outside, or have nice big French doors, or maybe you get creative and it's a 1-floor house, but you also have a roof terrace that you can build out and add stuff. And it's just honestly fascinating and really interesting, really relaxing to watch as well, I think, is the nice part about it. You can just kind of sit down, put it on. It's like 45 minutes, which sounds insane, but it's really, really cool. And the challenge ones were also really interesting, I think, either having the constraints of size or money, or maybe the constraints of a theme. That's always really interesting to see kind of how they work around it. And I mean, The Sims 4 is really robust with the kind of the house building tools that are available to you, and plus it looks gorgeous because it's all in 3D, it's all got wonderful models, and it's HD and all of the good stuff. So yeah, it's just kind of, it's a chill time, and it really made me want to buy the game. I think the reason I didn't was at that time I didn't have a good gaming computer, and since then, now that I do have a gaming computer, I've seen the price of everything and it's insane. Sims is like Nintendo games in the sense that they just don't come down in price. They never come down in price. It's ridiculous. It'll be 5-10 years later and it'll still be RRP, if not more, because by then scarcity will have gone through the roof and people will be wanting it again as they rediscover an old classic. Don't ask me how I know that. I tried to buy Skyward Sword on the Wii before it got remade. Thank God it got remade. But yeah, just good fun. If you don't understand anything of what I'm saying, that's perfectly fine, because it's a niche hobby, maybe? It's maybe niche to me because I don't see the extent of it, but it feels niche. But it's fun, Maybe just look up Sims 4 house building and see what you think. You might be surprised by how interesting it can be. But anyway, I'll not waste any more of your time. I'm going to go melt in this heat. Anyway, I'll see you all later. Bye!